So amongst all of the ministries that you've worked in the environment ministry, the water ministry, where you were when we had the first conversation.
We are drainage services.
Yes, and physical planning.
I'm
So
there
of all
now.
these ministries, what were the unique experiences or challenges that you would say stood out for you in your time there?
You know, these two ministries are fundamental. But the most important ministry, if you ask me today, is the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. Because in my school of management, the little I know about management, planning, they say, ought to take a large time in any management process. So if we are to get it right, a lot more focus ought to be given to planning. In my 35 years, I've seen Lagos. I can tell you Lagos has developed haphazardly, albeit unplanned. Development precedes governance. People would have settled in an area unplanned. Governance pretty much just catches up with them. Meanwhile, the reverse ought to have been the case. You have to have planned the settlement. You understand? But this should be a residential area, this commercial, this industrial, this restitution, all kinds. I'm not a town planner. But they are the most important people when it comes to, having a habitable living or happy living in the society. But what do we have in Lagos is people just build houses all the way. Well, that's what people are just building. So yeah, government now start reacting with social fabric. There's a social infrastructure that will manage that population. Planning starts with you knowing the number of people that you want to live in an area. Where do you want them to work? You plan people's lives. People don't just work and just do whatever they like. You now start reacting to what they've already started doing. So that is one area that I said that if I come again, I think every planner must be a genius. Government should focus a lot more attention on the planning of the state. Because physical planning and economic planning are a Siamese tree. The only way you have a very good physical plan, they can now plan the economics. Your economic plan should actually build the economy of the people. It shouldn't be something that just happens by accident. Government should be a catalyst. Doesn't get used up in the process. So yeah, physical planning, don't have a town planner, but I found out that we, the other practitioners in the build sector, ought to follow the lead of the planners. We're not to be rudderless and just say, I want to do this road, I want to do this drain. There ought to have been a plan that has the people as the focus. The city is meant for the people to use, right?
Yeah.
Every infrastructure we're providing is to serve a population, right? So that should have been the first thing we planned for. Whereas, okay, for this X million population, we need this road, this bridge, this market, this school, this hospital, this drainage. You understand? So it's so that is the challenge that I see in my 35 years, because we have practically been reacting to what is already existing. Meanwhile, government ought to have planned the population diversity across the state. Do you get it?
Yeah.
It should be a government that says, I want 1 million people here. This 1 million will be working. This is the industry they will be working in. I want 5,000 here. I want 2 million. So you can now say, okay, the transport network would have been planned according to that dispersion.